Welcome. Today, I want to teach you how to perform the principal component analysis using Origin Pro. The principal component analysis is a dimensionality reduction technique used to simplify complex data. So as we go on in the video, I will be explaining some things to you that are key that you need to know. So first of all, you go to where you have your data, like I have my data in Excel. I copy the labeling of the data, bring it to origin on the name label, you paste it, you open up this, then you go back to copy the values, the variables, the values. So copy, you bring it to origin, you click on this cell and you paste. So we have our data here. You come to statistics, you go to statistics, you see multivariate analysis. This is principal component analysis. So go to last used, if you have made use of it before. Um, if you've not made use of it before, you will not see that last use. Just click whatever comes out with the arrow. So I click on this bar to select my data. So I select my data, click on this drop down, come back here, you say observation label. I come here, I pick location, I label it with. Then we go to settings. Settings, now you want to decide how many components should you use. There are some important decisions you have to make when doing a principal component analysis. You say, should the analysis be based on correlation matrix? Should it be based on covariance matrix? Okay. If the variables have the same units, the variables you are using, they have the same units, you can use either correlation or covariance. The only difference is if correlation is used, all variables are treated as equally important, while if covariance is used, the importance of the variable is proportional to their variance. Okay. And so also, if the variables have different units, then you most times people tend to use correlation since it involves standardization of the variables, of all variables, into the same standard unit. Since if the variables are different, you go for correlation since it will standardize all units into the same standard units. Otherwise, the variables will be incomparable and the analysis will not make sense. Okay, so it's always good. You depends on what the situation you have at hand, like what we've talked about. You either go for covariance or correlation. So now we are going to use correlation. So number of principal components now. For a number of principal components, you start with the least number of principal components. Let's say we start with 2 because you start with smaller components, and when you start with smaller components, you try to interpret your data and your data is interpretable with the smaller component, then you stick with it. Another way of doing this is also looking at your eigenvalues. If your eigenvalue is close to 1, you can use the smaller components as well. You depends on any of the rules that applies. But if you are able to interpret your results using smaller components, like just 2 components, then it's okay. Then you go to descriptive statistics. This is okay. We don't need to touch this. Okay, so we need our eigenvalues and our eigenvectors because these are very important parameters in the principal component analysis. And we have our plots. Okay, x-axis should be 1, our y-axis should be 2 because the values all have to be different. X-axis cannot be 1 and y-axis will be 1 as well. It it would alternate, and it depends on the number of components you picked. If you had picked 4 components, you will see 1, 2, 3, 4. So it depends. So our output, how do we want our result to be displayed? Our PCA result should be displayed on a new sheet, and our score data should be displayed on a new sheet. So once you have done all this setting, you click on OK. It will bring out all of this. So this is your script plot. This is your script plot comparing your eigenvalues with the principal component number. Then this is your loading plot. Your loading plot, you can decide to reduce the text size by double clicking on it and coming to this drop down. You can, let's take it to 10 so that it would have space with to stay with. Yeah, we take it to 10, it becomes more readable. You go back, this is your score plot. This is your score plot. This is your bar plot. You can also do the same with the bar plot. So depending on when you are doing your interpretation, of your data and you are able to interpret your data using, we pick 2 components. If those 2 components are sufficient for you to interpret your data, then it's fine, you stick with 2 components. If it's not sufficient, then increase the number, go back, run the analysis again by increasing the number of components to 3, 4, whatever you you might want to increase it to, as long as you are able to interpret your data with the increment you give. This is our score data where you have your correlation matrix and your eigenvalues. Although our eigenvalue is also displayed on this table, our percentage of variance and cumulative. So you can pick all these values, you can copy them into your Excel sheet and arrange them in the way that suits you, your need. And this is your correlation matrix. You could also take it out from here and arrange it in your Excel or Word file to suit your need and carry on with your interpretation. And this is our PCA plot data. I hope this really helped you. So if you need more videos like this, you encourage me by liking and subscribing to the channel so that I can keep it up. Thank you.